Okay, welcome to the last exercise in our Level 2 practical book. Is going to be the Level 2 monotone sheet. And monotones are just exercises where we're counting out loud like we do on the counting exercises, except you don't have to use two hands. You can use one stick, be it the right or the left, or you can even tap the table if you want, or clap your hands when you're playing these, as long as you're playing to the rhythm. All right. So we're going to do the whole page with the metronome, and then we'll do the whole page without the metronome. Also, okay, so you're getting a shot at both ways. Once with the beeps and once without the beeps. And we'll play it about 55 beats per minute. So I'm going to use just one stick. I'm going to get rid of my left drumstick and we'll use just the right for this. If you're a piper playing along to this, alright, pipers usually have a bit of a headache when it comes to monotones because of rests. Alright, pipers don't play rests. They squeeze and blow and you are playing through a whole tune. Drummers, we've got rests. Alright, pipers do not. So sometimes they find that very tricky to deal with. So we're going to go one line at a time. First line, and notice there's no repeats, is very easy. You're just following the rhythm of the notes. You've got 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, 1, 2, and you're just counting them as you go, as we normally do, okay, like we did in the first page. Let's do it. After 2, 1, 2, go, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, 1, 2, and that would be it. We'll go again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, 1, 2, and you shouldn't be asked to play them all back to back, as in like one straight into your next, straight into your next, because you're going into different time signatures. So you should, if the assessor asks you to play these, you'll maybe say, go play the first line for me, please. Play the third line for me, please. Might not get you to play them all, okay? It might get you to play them all. It depends who it is and how they want to hear you play them. So let's do that first line again. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, 1, 2, and done. And moving on to the second line, we've got 1 and 2. So that rest there, this is the first time you'll have seen this one, that is a crotchet rest. So for the whole value of the crotchet, you would stay silent. So you'll be 1 and 2. So we don't play anything at all on number 2. And now we've got a new movement. Okay, so we'll have been speaking about in our musical theory, lengthening notes and shortening notes. So when you've got a dot placed after a note, so see that note's got a little dot, that increases the note's value by half of its original value. So in other words, it's stretching it. Okay, so instead of it being just quavers, which would be 1 and 2, we've got to go 1, that's going to be a stretched 1, and then when a note's got a cut on it, it's decreased by half. Okay, so you've got a longer one here and a shorter one here. So it becomes 1D2, 1D2. So you get 1 and 2, 1D2, 1 and 2D1, 2. So that group's the same. Stretch there, cut there. Okay, and you're saying 1D. So it's like 1D, but you're missing out the 1D. So you get 1 and 2, 1D2, 1 and 2, D1, 2. And we're going to try that. And play it, say it, and follow the music as you go. 1, 2, go. 1 and 2, 1, D2, 1 and 2, D1, 2. And we'll go again. 1, 2, go. 1 and 2, 1, D2, 1 and 2, D1, 2. And if you're finding that hard, the big thing to pick up is those, the dots and cuts. Alright, whenever you see them, you've got to stretch it, like pull that first note, 1D, and then the second one's really short. So we'll do that line once more. 1, 2, go. 1 and 2. 1 day 2. 1 and 2 day 1, 2. Done. And then we're moving on to 3/4s now. So it's 3 beats per bar. So instead of just being 1, 2, you've got to go 3 now. So you're getting 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3. So the crotchets and quavers are the same. It's either just 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2 and 3 and. You just get to play it and say what you see. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3. Let's try that to the beeps. Ready? 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3. Lovely. And as always, please rewind the video if you need to, because we're going on to the 3/4 again, but with dots and cuts. So we've got 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2. So that there, crotchet S, remember, we're not going to play anything there. We're stopping for the whole beat. 1 day. So dots and cuts, stretch them. 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. And again, 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. Let's try that line. Ready? 1, 2, go. 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. And again. 1, 2, go. 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. And last time. 1, 2, go. 1 day 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. Done. And we should be moving on to 4/4s now, okay? So again, it's the same as the 3/4, except you're going to count 4 beats this time. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And again. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's play it. Ready? 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we'll do that line again. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Done. And please rewind that back if you need to do it again, so we can tackle the very last line, which will be dots and cuts again. Remember, stretch them. 1, 2 and 3 day 4. 1 day 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 day 4. I'll go again. 1, 2 and 3 day 4. 1 day 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 day 4. Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, go. 1, 2 and 3 day 4. 1 day 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 day 4. And we'll do that line again. 1, 2, go. 1, 2 and 3 day 4. 1 day 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 day 4. Done. So again, please rewind back if you need to do any of these again, because we're going to do them all just once through each one, but without the metronome this time. Okay? So starting with the very first line. After 2. 1, 2, go. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1, 2 and. And then second line. 1, 2. Tap your foot. 1 and 2. 1 day 2. 1 and 2 day 1. 2. So your foot is now the metronome. Next line, the first 3, 4. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2, 3. And I keep my feet going so I'm in a good tempo. Next line. 1, 2 and 1 day 2. 3 and 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2, 3 day 1, 2 and 3. First 4, 4. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then finishing off with the last 4, 4 on the page. 1, 2, go. 1, 2 and 3 day 4. 1 day 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 day 4. Done. And I can pick my left stick up again. So that's the whole monotone page done. And as I said before, an assessor probably won't, and they shouldn't really, be asking you to play every exercise back to back. So they shouldn't say, just play the whole page. Or if they do, they'll get you to play the first line, then stop, second line, stop, third line, stop. That's the way they should do it. Okay, it'd be a bit shady, I reckon, if they asked you to play the whole page. A bit shady, because it's quite a lot of playing. And again, as I said before, you can tap it, clap it, hit the table, hit the pad, whatever you want to do, as long as you're playing that rhythm. Alright, and some assessors will let you use a metronome for that. I would say try and get your foot at this point to become your metronome. So you're used to getting that foot tapping out that speed, or whatever speed you want to play at. If you want to play it faster, get your foot going faster. Excuse me, okay? So as I said, that's the last practical video in the level 2 SCQF book. If you feel that you've completed that and you've got through all the theory, then let me know and we'll get you booked in for a test, okay? And then you would look at starting level 3. So good luck with that, and as always, get in touch if you've got any questions.